Honorable Prime Minister, dear guests and friends from Ukraine, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to address you in a few words. I will start by saying that at the joint working meeting where we evaluated bilateral meetings, we sincerely agreed on a measure. We agreed on a just and good measure for Ukraine, because the word measure must be a key word in our policy. Now I am speaking for the government of the Slovak Republic, and I must confirm that the word measure is a key word in our effort. I knew that this meeting would be important. For the first time, we met with the Prime Minister at a meeting close to Uzhhorod, shortly after the meeting with Mr. President Zelensky. And today, during a long four-eye discussion, that we will not go into technical details, but we will talk about serious political issues. We will try to explain some things, to bring our position closer somewhere, but mainly to define areas where we see a huge space for cooperation. That is why, and I believe that the Prime Minister will confirm this, we spoke very clearly and openly about sanctions. The Prime Minister received from me all the necessary information that she needed to receive. We spoke about our negative attitude, although we respect the will of the Ukrainian people and the Ukrainian policy towards Ukraine's membership in NATO. On the other hand, we spoke very clearly and confidently about the European ambitions of Ukraine when it comes to membership in the European Union. And here we are ready to share all our experiences with the Ukrainian side. I warned the Prime Minister that she might be surprised that those who speak positively about Ukraine today will be the ones who will hate Ukraine's membership in the European Union the most. Slovakia will not. If we say no, dear Prime Minister, we say no honestly. If we say yes, and we say it honestly. In this spirit, we have changed our attitude when it comes to attracting attention, when it comes to Ukraine's needs for this winter, because I am trying to see people first and foremost. I don't want to see all the politicians. Yes, even in Slovakia, our leaders tell us to do this or that. But our argument is that first and foremost, I have to see families with children who may be exposed to exceptionally difficult situations related to the approaching winter. Therefore, we, as good neighbors, Slovaks with a big heart, want to show our solidarity, despite the fact that in many questions we don't really understand each other, and we need to talk about these things together. Despite the fact that I don't have a mobile phone, which we all know, I have agreed with the Prime Minister that we will not put it on the media and social networks. If something appears that will require immediate consultation, we will find a mechanism to contact each other as soon as possible and explain things to each other. Slovakia and Ukraine are neighbors, normal neighbors, and we want to be good neighbors. The war is over, and we will need each other because it is important for Slovakia to have a stable neighbor who is ready to deal with many challenges together with us, just as Ukraine needs neighbors with the same characteristics. We, in the previous government, which was practically a year ago, took the first step, and I will not burden the public with details, because this morning, at the opening of the joint government, we had the opportunity to mention these things in more detail. We have moved forward, and that is why we have signed a document that says where we are. And when we listened to the Prime Minister at the lunch of the statement of the individual ministers, I can happily state that our efforts are primarily focused on humanitarian aid and practical cooperation, which should help people in everyday life, and that this is the right path. I would like to add, ladies and gentlemen, that right now, during the meeting with the Prime Minister, we have agreed that we will take the path of building a Ukrainian school, because we have a large number of children, citizens of Ukraine, in Slovakia. As I said, Slovakia is a country that needs 150,000 qualified workers. This is also an area where we can reach an agreement very quickly. We have offered our experience from the two-step system, where the second pillar has been in operation for more than 20 years. We even have the third pillar of the two-step system. And if we compare the experience of the countries that have abolished the second pillar with the experience we offer, then Ukraine can only win if it decides for the right decision. I think that the topic of the exhibition of rented flats is particularly interesting for Ukraine, and this is an exhibition that is supported by the state. We have come up with a mechanism that has received support from the European Union. We are running it quite successfully, and I understand very well the need for living in Ukraine at this time. And I was a little confused when the Vice President of the government very spontaneously said, "You know, Mr. Prime Minister, we want to own everything, just like the Slovaks. We still think that we have to own a flat, we have to own a land, we have to own a family home." And yet we know very well that the system of renting flats is also very effective in new countries. We were doing very well. We sat down and said, "Here we have mutual benefits, we can't afford it, but since we are neighbors, we want it to work." And I think that what has been signed and agreed upon today, and what we are moving forward with, is good news for Slovaks, for Ukrainians, for all the citizens who live here in Slovakia, and for all the citizens who live in Ukraine. We were all to a certain extent surprised by the information that Budapest has a meeting of the President of the United States of America and the President of the Russian Federation. We also paid a lot of attention to this with the Prime Minister of the government, and I express my hope that this meeting can be key and can make a significant progress in achieving a good, just measure for Ukraine, because this is what we care about the most. Mr. President of the government, in my person you will find a person who pays when he gives a hand, but you will also find a person who speaks firmly and uncompromisingly. If it simply doesn't work, his answer is not very correct. I will always respect you so much that if it is not the answer, I will always say it to him personally and directly, and I will not use media or any other medium. Slovakia is a country that follows a proud path of sovereign Slovak foreign policy that is oriented to all four sides of the world. Just as we want to be your good neighbors and help, we want to have good friendships with all those who are interested in having good friendships with us. Returning to the Russian Federation is our policy. Returning to China, returning to Vietnam. Everyone who is interested in cooperating with our country is a country we are interested in. We are a proud nation that knows how to be proud. And I have a government that knows how to be proud when it is inevitable. And that is why I am taking this opportunity, because it concerns our meeting today, and I express my deep regret for what European socialists have predicted today. I will not comment further, but I can say that very spontaneously today, the Ukrainian Minister of Education spoke about the national identity of Ukrainians. So I called the minister and I said, "Mr. Minister, I wish you a lot of energy and a lot of effort, so that your concept of national identity that we have instilled in the Constitution of the Slovak Republic can be explained to our partners in the European Union who, unfortunately, reject this concept. and do not recognize it. Slovakia is a country that said that in the questions of national identity, Slovakian law will have precedence over European law and international agreements. Just as we said that we are a country that knows where it came from, who our ancestors were, and what our roots are. So if they want to accuse us of defining marriage as the only relationship between a man and a woman, that we said that there are only two perspectives, and that we said that in these questions, Slovakia will have precedence over European law. If we are to be excluded for this, then it is a disappointment for us. And I will not comment on the fact that some representatives of European socialists complain that we celebrate the end of the Second World War and victory over fascism. It is a topic that will connect us, Mr. Prime Minister. National pride, sovereignty, national identity. Only those countries, I speak for Slovakia, and those who defend these achievements can survive in a difficult world and in a difficult time. I wish you, Mr. President, excellent personal relations. I think we have done a lot for this today. I wish you further understanding as we have shown today in topics we do not understand at all, but we had to show it. Today we have met on the basis that I have no doubt that the next year of the Slovak-Ukrainian government will be successful. Today I have accepted the invitation of the President of the government to the next meeting, which will be in time and in a place where we will agree. But we will certainly come to the territory of Ukraine, and we will do everything to make the situation better. And we will return to the key word in the essence of our policy for Slovakia, and that is the policy of peace. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it very much in these difficult times, and I hope you go home with good news.